Why do you guys think like the Guardians like set Stewart up? Just because like they don't trust Hal, or it
That's
seems
what I think. Yeah, like they want somebody that will listen to orders the way that John does. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Hal's reckless. He's not listening to him. He turned off his transponder. He's not uploading. He's not doing what he wants. They're pissed. It's like,
Yeah.
but okay, dog, that's hilarious. But like they've been training Stewart since he was born, though.
yeah.
Like
Why?
maybe
What
Hal's
makes him
Um,
been.
special? Why
let's
him?
let's
That's
let
what I
them
want to know.
confirm that first. I mean, I'm assuming that's true,
No, that
but
happened. Yeah,
I
okay,
guess yeah.
we'll let it
Yeah, well, I
conclude.
mean, no, you're probably right because I mean, the way that his dad talks to him on the phone when he's consoling you, he's like, "Hey, do what you need to do, and it's yours." Like, there's something there that he's like on. He's been in the know about,
Well,
you
we've seen
know.
the scenes in the trailer of his mom holding him and the shape shifting alien, the
Yeah.
one of the guardians, approaching her. So
Hello and welcome to the Premier Squad podcast. I am your host, Jerome, and today here for you, we have a special, or what feels like a special episode. We got Lanterns that premiered yesterday. It's huge as, a couple of us have gone to Comic-Con to see the Lanterns panel, some amazing, exciting scenes to really go over with. But before we get to that, here with me today, I have James.
In brightest day, in darkest night.
We have Dom.
no evil shall escape my sight.
We got Grinch.
Let those who worship evil's might.
And we got Ken.
Beware my power. Green Lantern's light.
Throw up the rings. A lot of us got a chance to go to offsites for San Diego Comic Con where we got blessed with a couple of rings and the opportunity to kind of get a welcoming to the world that is Lanterns. And I know I'm excited, but guys, Ken, I'll start with you. How are we feeling about episode 1 of Lanterns? What's your initial reaction?
Very strong. Strong pilot. A few of us got to see a lot of the footage at SDCC. So we got to see the interrogation scene. I know like
Mhm.
we'll dive deep into it, but the interrogation scene, of course, was my favorite scene, I think. And when
Yeah.
not even this episode, but when I saw that footage at SDCC with our diehards, I knew that this show had a chance to be something really good. So good to see it in its totality, and good like for the rest of the community to get to join in on the party.
James, what about you? How are you feeling?
I agree with Ken. Very strong episode. What I needed this to do was establish the partnership between Hal Jordan and John Stewart and give us some of that dynamic that we're going to be looking forward to throughout the entire season. And then also give us a mystery that was interesting enough for us to want to be breadcrumbed through to see this to the end. So I think they were successful on both counts of that, which are the two biggest missions, I think, for this episode. And it passed with flying colors, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you. Dom, what about you?
Yes, also agree. Very strong pilot. Very happy. Off to a good start. Another successful DC HBO partnership is looking like it's forming in front of us. So excited about that. I just really like how we've got, the show is pushing us with three kind of mysteries or intrigue or investigations that are happening on the three timelines. You've got the
Yeah.
flashbacks of when John was a kid and why he was seemingly picked at birth to be the next Green Lantern. What's that about? Are we going to get answers to that? Then you were on the 2016 timeline where we are trying to discover more about this alien revenge storyline that's going on. And then, of course, the 2026 timeline where we are going to try and figure out who killed Hal Jordan. So
Mm.
really like how every timeline is important and we're kind of living in all three of them. Very similar to like, like a, like
Your
the,
detective.
yeah, like a true detective, like this show was kind of billed as. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Grinch, what about you? How are you feeling about episode 1?
It's a clean sweep. I was totally drawn in for it. I didn't know much about it. I wasn't at SDCC in Hall H with you guys, and I only saw the teaser trailer. And the teaser
Yeah.
trailer I saw, I was like, I don't know about this. But after the first episode, and even at the end of the episode, seeing the season trailer where they, give you flashes of what's to come in the season, I'm like, okay, this is perfect. I thought it was just going to be a buddy cop kind of show, but it's so much
Yeah.
more than that. There's so many different elements that that I love personally from any kind of TV show. So I'm like, all right, we're in for a good ride. I hope. I think we are.
Yeah. Yep. I want to echo that sentiment. I mean, it's repetitive at this process, but um, some of these scenes now I've seen, 3 to 4 times in a row, over and over again, and I've really come to appreciate the nuance and kind of how they formulated things, how they bring the world of lanterns with Earth, and how that kind of meshes together. And what kind of underpins all of this in the beginning is the relationship between John and Hal. And I think that's our first question. I'll kind of start it off, and then whoever take it from me from there. But one of the things that I really appreciate is with Hal like being the forefront, John gets placed in this role of like kind of behind the scenes. And one thing that I really love about their relationship and how it works on screen is that John maintains this balance that I think is really hard to do, where he is the follower, he is the understudy of Hal, but at the same time still manages to keep his manhood, still manages to come across in the appropriate ways to know that like I am a force to be reckoned with, while still maintaining that respect that you have to have for someone that's above you.
Yeah, I just like how cool and calm he is at all times. John
Yeah.
is, just keeping it very even keel, not letting Hal, get to him, not ruffle his feathers. Even when he tried to kill him, he didn't show that to Hal, even though that was kind of like the only time he was a little distressed. But I just like how
Mhm.
cool and calm he's been playing. He's biding his time. He's very cool under pressure right now.
Wait, Jerome, did you choose which one though you preferred?
Yes, yes.
Youngstown?
I chose Hal. I chose Hal. So I mean that's kind of
Yeah.
the one of the subtopics that can go into here, right? Is it their camaraderie? Do you guys choose one over the other? What are we kind of feeling about the relationship between Hal and John to this point?
It's good. They're completely different. That's why it's good. I like that Hal
Mhm.
Jordan's not played as a stoic Boy Scout that sometimes he's written as. This is
Yeah.
like the old cop that has been on the job for way too long that will bend the rules when he needs to make it work for him. An
Yeah.
example is him making the money for the jukebox or for the beers or whatever.
Yeah.
Then you have John Stewart, who's kind of the more stoic. He very, not to sound like cliche, but he does feel like that's how I want John Stewart to be. He's a completely different personality set. And
Yeah.
they do a good job at trying to give you a little bit of the shades of why he is the way he is. The whole
Yeah.
apple shooting scene in the beginning. And then, he and his dad, that's just a normal thing for them, shooting apples off your son's head. That's just a normal thing. They'll hug each other out,
I
go
know.
get sushi, like
I know
just
we got to stop at that time because there was like a question of like whether that's like how far along child abuse that is, or depending on the year, it may no
Prison
year. I
time,
don't care if it's
child
an
abuse.
arrow, a
Prison
bullet,
time, child
whatever it
abuse.
is, that is child
Lifelong
abuse.
child abuse. Yeah, lifelong prison sentence.
it made him who he is today and in
True, true.
2026.
He looks back on it fondly. He does. He
Yeah.
does.
I mean,
And
they were all
actually, so
smiles, it's okay.
yeah, rewatching that
He
again
did, and he
today.
even called his
Go
pops.
ahead.
He called his pops. Was like, "Hey,
Yeah,
man, you
that's a good
tripping?"
point, Grinch. He called, hey, I need some advice.
Yeah,
There you
And his
go.
he's like,
dog's
"You
like
just tried to
maintain
kill
the
me."
course. Yeah.
Great point.
Man,
Great point.
it's funny because like when he asked him that question of like what are you gonna do, like you need to stay calm, cool, and collected, or whatever the words is that he used, it immediately like recentered. One thing I really loved about the rewatch that I had in particular today that I want to give like a shout out to John is that I felt like, I'm just gonna give him this because it's kind of up in the air, I feel like he was the youngest of the 3 boys that were inside that house, right? His dad came in and looked right at John, looked right at him. I know there's at least one person taller than him in that room. So I'm pretty sure he's the youngest, but that's like the respect that John's character commands, that literally the dad walked in, did not make any eye contact with any of the other 2 boys, looked right at John and asked him what was going on.
And it plays into the motif of the no fear deal that they got going on too. You know, like this guy from a kid, he's had no fear. And then you could say
Yeah.
that the dad instilled that in him by abusing him the way he did.
Well, they've been grooming him.
For sure.
It's clear they've been grooming him since birth. The Guardians chose Jon Stewart, and they told his parents that he needs to be groomed and trained to be the next Green Lantern. So he's had no choices in his life. His entire life has been about being the Green Lantern from day one.
He's just a
Is he
vessel.
so dumb, or you think his dad's just crazy?
No, I mean, mine's kind of like a theory and prediction, but I do believe the Guardians came to John's parents and chose him to be the next Green Lantern. It's a theory. I feel pretty good about it, but
there was some footage. There was some footage of an extraterrestrial visiting John's dad when he was a baby. So I think that lends some credibility to John's theory.
Damn,
Well,
Potentially.
He's been built to be this, whereas like how like it happened naturally. But I feel like that's the clashing ideas. Whereas because Hal's like, well, the ring should just choose you. The ring goes straight to you, but the Guardians like handpicked him. So
so it's like the government putting a plant in, essentially. That's what Jon Stewart is. He's a government plant.
Won't ask
Some Guardian plant.
Which is where the are you scared kind of plays, because you know that's what when Jordan obtained the ring, that's what the guy asked him, and then that's what his dad asked John is, are you scared? So they're both kind of playing off that same line of questioning.
Yeah. But yeah, bringing it back to like we've touched upon John now with like Hal's side too. Like I really enjoyed, like in particular, when the officer comes, when Sheriff Kelly comes, excuse me, and she talks about like how it may be loneliness that's really just pervasing all of his behaviors and the way that he's going about life because he has nobody that he's scared to lose, so to speak. You know, you could kind of see that as, oh, he's lonely. But one thing is like, both of those things can exist. You can have no fear and at the same time be lonely. So I'm glad that like I think Sheriff Kelly does a great job in this episode of like portraying that side and that giving us a little bit more insight on Hal's character, because I do feel like both those things are existing at once.
Jerome, but to that point, what I really like to build off that is
the
dynamic between Hal and John, I think can for as good as it is, for as good as the acting is, it can be very one note if Stewart at the end of the day doesn't respect Hal, but he did. Like he said, at the end of the day, this guy's absolutely fearless. So I got like a lot of respect for him. Right there, then okay, all right, like the dynamic shoots to like even higher places because Stewart knows that he's the man too. And I liked him saying that. So yeah, it was a good scene.
I don't agree with Sheriff Kelly. I don't want her cheapening my Hal Jordan like that, because Hal's the man, balls of steel, like not afraid of anything, confident as can be. I'm not going to let her cheapen that for me, so I disagree with her.
That's
right. She did sound like an ex. She did seem like sounding ex. That was pretty hurt by some things. Yeah, I could see that.
And she was in that interrogation scene. Hey, do we need to run? She
flipped around.
Said, no, sit your ass down. We're here. We're in it. Well, I loved Hal Jordan so much in this whole episode. Like
Me too.
I love it, man. I love the way they took that kind of character that could be so kind of like two-dimensional in terms of he's like the Joseph Joestar of like the Green Lanterns. You're like he's like the one, like he's like the stoic, like he's like the Boy Scout-ish one compared to the rest of them. And I love how like this is the Watchmen, Damian Lindelof, he's like the Watchmen writer for that HBO show. So him writing this show, like I'm expecting big things from this.
Yeah, and I think like we're going around and like to really get into the probably the best scene of the entire episode, right? When we get into the investigation, I want to know what you guys. Well, Dom, we'll start with you. How did you feel about the investigation scene?
Yeah, I mean, just clearly the highlight of the episode for sure. Just the tension there, I just really like how I spoke about earlier, just Hal's confidence. He knew it was an alien from the start, And yes, he had some intel to support that. So obviously it doesn't make him look like a genius, but the way he was confident in his abilities to get him to flip, like, no, I'll get him confessing in 5 minutes. And then the way that his masterful technique to get him to, to weed out if he really is an alien or not, because, clearly if they're trying to blend in, they're going to know everything about that particular, area or body that they are, impersonating, but they won't know everything in the zeitgeist. And I thought that was a brilliant way to kind of just weed out if he was an alien or not. And then, of course, the turn when he says, well, hypothetically, if you're right, then everything just turns right there. The sheriff says what we're all thinking, oh, fuck. And it just goes in from there. It was just really beautifully done.
Yeah. And I think, in particular, I got a chance to watch that same scene in the episode with my mom today. And she provided me, because she is like a very general viewer, right? She doesn't care about this stuff like that. She's watching it because her son's watching it. But it allowed me the opportunity, right, to when he had asked that initial question about what school does Harry Potter go to? I paused it. I'm like, Mom, where does Harry Potter go to? What school does he go to? And she's like, I don't know. And I think that's actually like super important, because I
Your
feel
mom's
like
an alien?
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
No, you're good. I thought, there was an inkling in my head that maybe that question isn't the best one out there. But I can see how that would be in his predetermined list of like things to ask that would trip somebody up, that most people would get. But then it naturally leads into the Barack Hussein Obama line. And that was so off. Like, I don't feel like he had that prepared. But as soon as he says it, and the only response is a very straightforward, oh, he's the 44th president of the United States. There's, there's something going on with his birth certificate. Just completely flat face. That is an immediate understanding you are an alien.
Yeah.
That somebody from rural Nebraska would only have the basic bare knowledge of objective knowledge of who Obama is without any sort of opinion thrown in there. Absolute masterclass right there.
Yeah. In Red State, Nebraska? Come on. You're living in Red State, Nebraska. You got an opinion about Obama. And it ain't a good one.
I'll speak on it next.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so like obviously like the pinnacles or the peak of that scene, you guys hit on. And I got to experience that at SDCC. But what I really got to appreciate the second time around, and this is like a small thing that I appreciated more about how watching like really the entirety of the episode. I mean, when he's face to face with the judge, it almost seems like he's not that he's not taking it seriously, but he seems like a bit sloppy and loose. Like, oh, I'm Green Lantern of Green Lantern. But then when confronted with an extraterrestrial, that's a legit threat that has a bomb inside him. That, obviously is, they are a part of a race that's figured out interstellar travel.
Woven into a skeleton.
It now becomes a different type of authority. And now, no, I am Green Lantern, Sector 2248, sent by the Guardians to do this. And on top of that, when the extraterrestrial mocks his oath, like you see, I mean, like that's like a religion to him. Like I said, he was like acting sloppy the entire episode, but there are just a few moments where it's like, no, this is actually a Green Lantern. Like literally that was chosen by a higher power. And it's just cool just to see him kind of turn that on when he's confronted with actually, extraterrestrial races that pose a threat to him doing his duty. I liked that a lot.
Yeah, I'd say sloppy with purpose.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
His mind was always on the mission.
Because I thought when he creates the counterfeit money, like they showed that in the trailer, and it's like, okay, like he's just kind of fucking around. But then when you watch the entirety of the episode, he did that to purposely get thrown in jail to interrogate the guy.
Yep. I was gonna bring that
I'm
up.
not wasting my money on that when I know that the money's going towards the investigation. Not my money. I gotta send those receipts in.
That's a write-off. Yeah,
I'm expensing it.
Yeah. Yeah, it just goes to show that Hal is very much, he's a grizzled, like he in the buddy cop thing, he's a grizzled space cop. He's a grizzled veteran. With that, we know he has great instincts as a cop. He's a great strategist. So the instincts come into play when they first come into the football field scene. And he's already assessed everything. He already
Yeah.
knows. He's just waiting for everybody else to catch up. He plans to
Yeah.
see with the sheriff is like. He plans to see with her, so she thinks he's kind of like an asshole. But he's playing it the whole way. He's playing it straight the whole way. Even gets John in on it. Gets John to do what he wants him to do and flush out the dude. And then he
Yes.
gets to the bar scene. He even the sheriff knew what he was trying to do, but she still had to do it. She still had to do it. He's like he got himself arrested on purpose. Like he just comes with
Yeah.
that. I don't know how many years he's been doing this. What, probably 30, 40 years at this point. So
Yeah.
he
20?
knows
Yeah.
he knows, yeah, 20. He knows what he's doing, even though he's coming off like, not even a drunk, but kind of like sloppy and arrogant and everything. But I think it's all part of his end game,
Yeah.
of what he wants to
Yep.
do.
Yep. By
And,
design.
and one of the
Yeah.
particulars, I think, in that scene where he's in the stadium, like he talks about like, no, I'm the only person that's ever done this job. So when I say I have a feeling, I have a fucking
Mm-hmm.
feeling. And
Yep.
like, yeah, it's so perfect. And then you tie that in with his line about the tie and like realizing that like all this stuff is kind of bullshit. Like I don't need to like explain myself to you, Judge, but I will explain myself to an actual threat that's off planet. That is now on my planet, about to cause mayhem, about to level the block.
I love that line about the tie. Like so relatable.
About with
Like,
yeah.
like in my
Yeah.
younger days, I would love to wear a suit. I would love to wear a tie. Now in my 30s, I'm like, I don't ever want to wear a tie. Ever.
Never.
Like so relatable.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. And so like, okay, so now I have a little bit of a surprise for you guys that now we're kind of toward the end of that investigation scene, right? He's about to, the alien that is, and shout out to him before I actually get into this. The alien does such a great job in his role, in the way that he, like, the writing and his dialogue is absolute perfection. And one of the reasons why I might even have him as like my MVP of the episode, because as soon as he decides to switch, well, actually, even before that, right? The way that he's like kind of not figuring out what's happening in front of him. And he's like, what am I missing if I'm not responding, with pure facts to Obama? What am I missing? And then he's like, okay, you know what? That's it. I'm just going to tell you flatly who I am. And the way he switches and the verbiage that he uses to describe who he is, what he's there for, and what that could cause the Green Lantern Corps, I think he does an amazing job resettling into, okay, now I'm an alien. And then we get to
the quickly just the actor did such a good job of like he delivered his lines like he was just reading off of a teleprompter. And then to your point, like when he drops the facade, then it's who he is. Like that actor did such a good job. But Hal wasn't afraid at all. So that's still the man.
I know, right? Right, because there's that.
Are we doing the lunch or?
Yeah, we exploding. Yeah, we exploding or we talking. But then like there's that question, right? Where there's that brief moment. It's so funny. There's that brief moment where he's like, how much energy you got in that ring left, huh? Where's your lantern at? And you could see like there's a human moment in time where there's a process inside Hal's head. But as soon as he's like, he decides that he has enough power, it's all confidence from there. Once again, no fear. And then the way that like he even slams him against the wall to provoke him. He's like, we got to get this thing moving. And then when he decides to explode, when the alien decides to explode, I saw that, and today I immediately thought of another scene.
Oh, yikes. Look at that pansy.
So obviously I am the Captain America guy. Okay, we know this. And this is, I can already sense the judgment that these two men are getting on screen. So I'm going to let you guys kind of tell me what the difference is right here before I get into my spiel. Who wants to take it away?
I'll tell you right now, one runs and hides in other people's timelines, and the other one is like handling the problem with no fear to its face.
Damn.
One is sacrificed. I wouldn't say that Hal was sacrificing himself, like Steve was,
That's a good point. Yeah, you could say Hal knew what his reach was, right? Am I Super Saiyan 1, 2, or 3? What power level am I going to be able to like take care of this Nappa level villain? That's a good point. Whereas Steve was like, yeah, I'm gonna sacrifice it all. Before
Mhm.
you
Dom is
can
on
say
it. It's sacrifice versus I
Exactly.
guess
Yes.
versus
sacrifice
Dom.
versus
As a
yes.
resident Tony Stark man, I was ready for the abuse from you because I know that we've been at odds before on these two sides, but I respect and I appreciate it. Steve here,
sacrifice
my
versus no
boy.
fear versus strength.
Yes, there is. You see Cap with his eyes closed. Excuse me, this isn't Cap. This is Steve Rogers with his eyes closed, knowing that grenade will kill him. So he's preparing himself, and he's still making the sacrifice play, as we know. But we have Hal here, and his eyes are open because he knows he can't contain it, and he knows his life is not a threat. Absolutely amazing. So when I went through that scene again today, it reminded me of like once again of Steve and jumping on the grenade. And I'm just like, there's such a stark difference here that both things are respectable, even though we can, see this and obviously give Hal credit. And you can kind of warp it in a way that talks down on Steve. But like Don, like you were able to point out, there's a difference in sacrifice versus I have the confidence that I know I can stop this. And that's like purely what the Green Lanterns are.
But we still don't trade lives, right, Jerome?
Hey, we don't need.
Trade line. I'm not even gonna.
There it is.
I'm
There
not
it
gonna.
is.
I don't know. I still put House scene like above this one. I get the
Of course,
self-sacrifice.
yeah.
I get the self-sacrifice like part of it, but I mean, one was literally chosen by a higher power and granted unlimited power to carry on, like their the piece of the galaxy. And Cap is a roided super soldier with a good heart. I think like
Hey,
he's
not here,
operating
not
on
here.
completely. No,
Not
I
here.
mean, yeah, no, and I
Yeah.
get that, but like,
Uh-huh.
I don't like. I mean, Hal was jumping out of planes and doing crazy shit too. Like,
Yes,
I just think Hal is just. I don't know.
man,
Much more
it's
mighty
crazy
than this, to be honest with you.
the nuke goes off, and not only did he bubble it, but he surrounded the bubble with himself. That's insane. That's
Yeah.
absolutely insane.
Right,
So
you
like,
ready to renounce that Captain America shit, Jerome? Or
no, hell no.
not
But
gonna say-
now today, one day removed from
Wait, Jerome, hold on.
Hal Jordan.
But like,
Yes.
if
Mhm.
Hal was in this exact same scenario as Captain America and he didn't have his ring, he would jump on the grenade too. Like, would he? Or would he? I'm asking.
No.
I don't know.
And that's a great question.
Nah.
No, he
I
wouldn't.
think-
I don't think he would either.
I think he would stop it. I think he would use something like, because Steve doesn't have, I don't feel like
a brain.
maybe the intelligence. Okay.
All
Yeah, I
heart-
think
all
like
heart,
it's
no brain.
just
Understand
it's
technology?
that's funny. That's funny.
I'm sorry. I'm a Cap
he's
fan,
too
and I'm
quick.
still.
He's too quick to jump on the grenade as like his first instinct.
This
There's
man
no
was going to take on
process.
Thanos by himself
Yeah.
with no backup. At 22%, I'm like, bro, here we go again. Like, out of here.
If Hal jumped on, so like, okay, let's say hypothetically speaking alien
Yeah.
terms, like Hal jumped on the grenade. Do you think he would have that same face of being terrified and embodying fear, or would he have no
He
fear?
has the ring.
No. He's just himself without the ring.
No, I mean he's not. What? Okay, you're giving somebody the tool to be able to contain that versus just 90 pounds soaking wet.
No, yeah.
That's the
Well, no.
question.
I'm saying like, just would he
He doesn't
be
have the
afraid?
ring.
Yeah, like if he doesn't have
Yeah.
the ring and he jumps on the grenade, would he be afraid? Because Cap is terrified. Rogers. I'm not gonna call him Cap yet.
We can use the evidence that we've gotten
No,
in
I
this
don't think so.
episode. This
Me
man was
either.
trying to
No,
get
I
rid
mean,
of his ring.
he plays
this entire
straight-faced.
fucking episode.
Me neither, Ken.
Yeah, he
Me
plays
neither,
straight
Ken.
face.
Thank you,
He
guys.
plays
Thank
straight
you.
face.
Thank you. I don't think Stewart would have been afraid either. All right, we can move on.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, back on over. Okay, so a little question for everybody's. That will be a bigger question later, but it's important that we take it honestly now, even if the discussion maybe isn't as fruitful. Is a big part of the Lanterns, right? And we kind of like since childhood, some of us that have watched Justice League Unlimited and Jon Stewart in that iteration, we have this issue with the Lanterns and their ability to use their ring creatively. And so one of the things that I want to pose to the group is we had several different constructs that were created or references to constructs. And as we go about the series, this is going to be something that we can really delve deep into. Did they do justice by the ring in terms of the creativity? And what I want to know from you guys is, what did you feel like your favorite construct was? And to recap, we had the money in the jukebox, we had the bubble wrap, right, as a reference to what Jon Stewart used in order to save himself from the car crash. We had the nuke shield from Hal right there. We had the bottle opener that Hal popped out to open up his beer. We had the hologram. I don't know how much we want to pose into that, but it did come from the ring, so I wanted to mention it. And then we had the smallest one of the group, and this is me being very detail focused, but Stewart used the ring as a cigarette lighter after he decided to partake in some particularly dark-skinned tofu off the grill. So which one of these constructs do we feel like was the best use of the ring in this episode?
The money for the jukebox to get himself arrested.
Mm-hmm. And I think you guys put
us purpose. It was for a whole purpose. Like that was start for another. Like that led to another thing. That led to another thing. That led to another thing.
Exactly.
Where you're like, oh shit! Like this guy's not just a drunk. He had like a whole plan for everything that was going on.
It was a shitty plan, though.
I mean, it was a plan. It wasn't a semblance of a plan.
James, do you think that he would have got invited to the cookout without having to bail out $200,000?
The shit, I know they would have been.
That put him on the radar.
But no, I think that's a great point. I think, we get to some of these, you didn't get to necessarily visualize what had happened there. And then when you look at the consequence of the fake $20 bill and the repeat of that annoying ass song, like that's a great point.
I guess I'll go on there. Oh, after you, Dom. After you.
Well, I just was surprised. I just don't know how the answer can be anything but the nuke shield. I mean, saved lives. Even with the shield on it, it still was a 7.0 earthquake. I mean, it rocked the town, shaked it pretty good, and he contained it. So I can't imagine what it would have been if he didn't contain it. Could have dropped an atom bomb on the town or something. I mean,
and that's part of the discussion, is you can interpret it in a way of terms of impact, in terms of consequence, like with the $20 bill. You can also look at it as what is the creativity that was used? Because I feel like the bubble wrap, even though we didn't get a chance to see it, which can dock points, and that's fine if it does, but that is the most one of the most creative things that was used, right? In a moment of what the fuck do I do? This is what he was able to create.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jerome,
so you can look at it, go through those scopes. What's up, Ken?
No, I think I got to agree with you on that. Because I thought he was actually in a position of danger. I don't think Hal was ever in any danger based on how he was playing that entire scene. But what I liked about
on a skeleton, it was in no danger. It's crazy.
I mean, he just had no. I mean, these guys have no fucking fear. But anyways,
yes.
But I like how, now getting back to how, again, he treated the ring more like a firearm, which I liked. So he just utilized it just to, move himself along through the investigation. Outside of that, and obviously to stop the bomb and stuff. But I like the creativity of when they use it in the context of the story, and it really matches up with the creativity of the writing. So I'm excited to see what other constructs we get. But to Jerome, to also build on your question a bit, what I really like though about the lanterns in general is, again, you said, our entire lives, they shoot beams, get stomped out, look small next to Clark, Bruce, Diana, those characters. But at least in this, this portrayal, Hal and Stewart, they seem like Justice League members, both of them. They seem like those guys are the real deal. They would sit at the table with Clark. They seem much, much mightier than the Justice Gang. And it's not even in the way that they did it. Because your question was about the ring and, the constructs. It wasn't even the constructs. These guys just have no fear. Yes, you're chosen by a higher power. That's cool enough. But you have no fear. These guys, we're just talking if Hal was going to jump on a grenade, with no powers, no one thinks he'd flinch. That's a different type of cool superpower. That's just inspiring. You guys should be sitting at the table.
That is, that's brought across, perfectly between the two characters in two distinct different ways.
Yeah. And but to that point too, like, and guys, like, obviously, like, chime in if I'm going too long. Like, even in the context of the
You're good.
universe, like, the
Yeah.
Guardians are like the gods of the universe. Like, it's not Clark. Like, Clark just got on the scene. Like, if you threw Clark into this show, he would have no idea what the fuck's going on. Yeah, he'd be able to get. He wouldn't need to take a plane and jump on a rental car to get there, but like he wouldn't know really like what's going on.
Yeah,
Like,
he
so
fucked that opening football field shit up more than John Stewart did, where he was like, "Oh, I fucked up." Like, yeah.
no, you know what? I actually want to defend Stewart on that. At least Stewart had only been on the scene for like what, 5 minutes? Like Hal was there for like what, 6 hours? And Stewart was able to analyze all that. But James, to your point, he lacked patience. He still fucked it up. So.
Well, and then to your point,
Yeah.
Clark would have been like, "Oh, where's my dog?" Like, fuck. Who gives a fuck?
But even the extraterrestrial wisdom and knowledge, I think is just beyond Clark right now. So like these
Yes.
guys, it's just
He
good
doesn't
to
have
see
that
them.
like Kara does not
Yes.
have it.
No, yeah, you're
like
absolutely
Hal
right.
seems like if they were to put together a team now, I know like we're riding for Hal, and like Dom said, his plan kind of still wasn't the greatest, but he would be like probably like the not the one to just bring everybody together, but the one to really call the shots because he has much more wisdom and expertise on
He
all
knows
those
to
things.
expand his horizons. He's not going to stay in Gotham his entire life and just like,
Here we go. We're going.
That
Batman
was-
Begins.
to bring that
Here we
up,
go.
dog.
No, that was cool when he said, "Hey, I've been gone for it was 2 months." He said, was it 2 weeks or 2 months? Was it
Yeah.
2 weeks or 2 months? It was either two. No, actually, I think it was two. I think it was 2 weeks,
It
and
was
he's like,
definitely, it was
"Yeah,
like 2 months
I
or
was."
2 years, not 2 weeks, right?
Well, it was
He
2 years.
left for the
No, it
Civil
wasn't 2
War that
years.
he stopped.
No, but I'm saying I'm saying it was. I'm saying
That's
it was
a different
not
type of
2 weeks.
importance to the universe and not just protecting Metropolis.
It's like,
2 weeks is a trip to Italy. That's not what he went on.
Earth is not.
I'm just saying it's not 2 weeks.
I got other clients in other
I think
planets.
it was 2 weeks. He did say
It was.
that. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, but 2 weeks is still a long time when you are assigned by God to train somebody. So,
But anyways, like coming back, Grinch, do you have any other of like the constructs that you felt stuck out to you?
For sure. I think we all missed the point. The best construct was the hologram. Without the hologram, the story doesn't progress and nothing jumps off. So the hologram, for him to have the presence of mind of like, yo, let me put this in here just in case shit pops off, so I can get a message
within
to
20
myself
miles,
like,
yep.
oh, within 20 miles, yo, okay. When I get this message, I know something really big has happened. And
Yeah.
so I think that was the best construct, even though it kind of wasn't a construct, but for what we listed as construct, yes, for me that was the best one.
What did it say?
And-
It's raining on the grill or something like that? Like,
It's
Not on the
raining
grill,
in
there was no
Nebraska or
rain. It
something
was
like
on the
that.
grill. There was no
like that's the
rain on the
code.
grill.
Like, oh
It was
shit.
internal. It was a flooding. It was not rain on that grill. Okay. Anyways, you guys want to read into that? That was a flooding. That was not rain.
wait, Grinch, you think? So, do you think that was because the hologram was actually physical? They could actually touch it.
Yeah.
You think that's
On his
what
shoulder.
happened? At the end of the episode, or do you think it was a shapeshifter, or do you think Hal is actually gone?
Oh no, Hal's not gone. And I'm not going to take any credit for this. I thought he was gone. And then, perusing the internet today, and I saw some guy's post of, he made mention of Hal said there's 14 different species that have been able to assume the DNA, the blood, everything of humans
MRI,
and disguise themselves as humans. The MRI, everything.
Everything I need for my knees. Yep.
Everything. So from that aspect, I was, oh shit, that's not Hal. Because the ring wasn't there. Because if Hal dies, the ring automatically goes to John. No questions asked. And neither one of them had the ring. So Hal's not dead.
How
So
does
this
that
is
work?
one of the
How does
things-
that work though?
So I think so. This is one of the things that we were talking about. Like James had pointed out with like the goatee. Really quickly to finish our constructs thing. I love Kyle Chandler in the sense that when his construct came up, it felt like a younger, more inclusive version of Hal that does not exist in present reality or 2016. Right. So I just wanted to shout out Kyle for that because like I felt he did a great job of being like, wait, this is 1996 me or 2006 me or 20 years ago. Yeah. This is me from previously. I should be doing these things for you. And so like I thought he came across like really well.
Before the universe kicked him in the ass.
Yes. And then so what James had pointed out, James, if you want to let us know, you let us know.
I don't remember. What were we talking about?
So James had pointed out that if you look closely when he has like a beard or doesn't in the trailer,
Oh
it
yeah,
can
yeah.
kind of, yes, tell us a lot. Go ahead, James.
No, you're talking about the upcoming.
Where did the ring go?
Yeah, it went to freaking Guy Stewart.
Guy Gardner.
Whatever the fuck his name is. The
So
bowl cut
that's
guy.
what we
Yeah.
kind of think is that because if you're 2016, Hal has it, right? And we're in the same universe as Guy Gardner, then at whatever point in time, the ring did not go to John, it went to Guy.
When he
So
died,
John's not
when he
even the
died in
backup quarterback. He's the
2026.
third string quarterback.
Yeah,
I'm-
we're wondering, like,
Yeah, that was our whole thing was like we were looking at that upcoming in the weeks ahead trailer, and we're like, wait a second, so we got Guy Gardner coming in.
wait,
He's got the ring, and then we're looking at like when John Stewart has his beard, and that is in the 2026 sections. So we're looking at the clips, right? Of
Yeah.
like when he had his.
there
Like,
can only be
goatee.
one.
Yeah. And again, not a Highlander reference.
And then
But-
when it goes to Guy Gardner coming to John inside the jail cell, John doesn't have a ring on.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
we're
we
thinking
were
that-
analyzing that shit the other night. We were looking through that.
Some shit
Wait.
happened in the past that really like fucked everything up.
Yeah, 16 to 26.
Yeah, something like really, because even then they didn't solve the case, just like some True Detective stuff. Like they didn't figure it out. So because Hal was still sitting in that same spot before someone put a bullet in his head. So yeah.
Construct that.
Yeah. So if he dies and he has the ring, does it like fly off his finger and go to the next Green Lantern, or can someone just take it off his finger?
I feel like if somebody's mighty enough to put a bullet in his head, they can just take the ring too. So I mean, I would
it's
say
gonna be
that
interesting
yes,
to
it
see
does fly away, but
yeah.
you know, they put a bullet in his head, so
Yeah.
they're able to do
It
things
has
other
to be
than that.
someone that he trusted, though. Someone that that would allow his guard to be down. That's what's intriguing about it.
Yeah.
I mean,
So that
14
is one of the
seasons.
questions of the season is how does the ring and when did the ring pass hands? Who has it now? It was John on the list. Did he leave the list? These are all like part of like the overall like one of the investigations that's happening, you know.
I hope
I
he
really
really
think-
is dead. I think it really starts the season off strong if he really is dead. It doesn't. I mean,
I'm gonna-
There's really good.
Yeah. I'm gonna be right there with you, Dom. I think he's
Yeah.
dead. I think
I
he's
hope he is.
fucking
Yeah.
dead. I don't want to see him back.
We're
after-
still gonna get plenty from the 2016 era of him. It's not like he's
Yep.
off the show. You know?
Yeah, especially for this
Yeah.
season. He's too
Yeah.
much of an integral part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so then like we go from that and then so now like because we spent so much time on those two, I kind of want to open it up in terms of, we have over here on our page a list of kind of all of the main players outside of our main two that contributed to the show. And I think they all did an amazing job. And I think it's tough and it's a good question to kind of understand which one of these side characters stuck out for you the most. And I'm going to kind of go off,
The grandma, Zoe, for sure. There's more to that character, I think, than meets the eye. Like, there's a lot of, like, the way that she's playing this character, I'm like, this bitch is somebody. We just don't know yet. She's there's something there. And I think that's on purpose, the way that she plays the character. She's, like, mysterious, but also, like, the whole thing about her being the wife of our boy, William over here. I don't think that's, like, the big twist of her character. I feel like there's more there, and not in a good way. I think she's going to be an antagonistic force for this. We're just not here for it yet.
Yeah, because she definitely played John, right? Like I know it's a funny scene, but
but
it was very. I know he's Aaron Pierre and the way the green eyes and everything, but it can never be like that easy. So I think
that was one of my criticisms of John. It was that like he's military trained, so he's smart. He has everything going for him like that, and she just was asking simple questions, and he gave up everything. He gave up everything the way she gave up the draws. He was like, "Oh yeah, we're down for this. We're looking for this. We're doing this.
She gave up the
tofu.
We're doing
what
this."
What did I say the other night, Ken? When we watched this, I'm like, she's gonna be somebody. She's either gonna be like a Purple Lantern, or she's gonna be like some other kind of extraterrestrial force or something.
We'll see.
There's something with her that we don't know yet. That there's something
a long
in
flight
that.
that John took.
Yeah, I'm like, man, yeah, there ain't no way like she just got into this
I don't
dude's
know.
head. Like,
I don't know if we want like the third Venom movie, or was it the third one? The Let There Be Carnage movie
that's the
to
second
come
one.
into play here. We have all these different colors popping around in the first season of different lanterns, so to speak. Um, but that would be super interesting if he is being manipulated in some other way. The person that I really want to ride for is Sheriff Kelly, because like on my or not third, my second rewatch of the episode, I came to really like appreciate that the writers and her, like, I think she has this job of like being the bridge between the lanterns and of Earth, and I think she did an incredible job of that. And the fact that when John came down onto the field to talk to her about like, hey, let me update you on this random dude over here, she was already in the know, and I appreciated that because they didn't make her some stupid ass fucking cop. She's already understanding of the investigation, and the way
Yeah,
that she
I
is
like that.
like, hey, this is like, to me right now, this is an Earth thing. And it's something like her line about like, it's different. We know that you're a hero. We know that you come from outer space, but it's different when you're on CNN versus in real life. So I think she did an awesome job of being that bridge for the audience to know, like, hey, I'm just trying, a sheriff trying to do my best. And like, I'm kind of pissy with how you guys are, and the way that, because it's such a small town, and her husband and her husband's dad and everybody is all on the grill, all on the menu, so to speak. She does an awesome job of being that connection between everybody and kind of like holding her ground and being like a competent person on there. Up until the point where she realizes that this now is outside her pay grade, and she will be losing her entire town, and wants to know if she can get the fuck out. So I loved her portrayal.
She
She's
snuffed
in a
out
rock and a
Hal's
hard
plan
place.
too. She stuffed him in
Yeah,
a
put him in the broom closet.
hall closet. Yeah,
Yeah.
so she had good insight for sure.
Yeah.
you know,
She's got a doofus of a husband. She has to deal with him and her father-in-law who she hates, and dealing with the Landers and all their bullshit. So she's like, she's got it from all sides. And she's holding it together.
Hmm.
I'm telling you, I think it's Zoe that's going to be the real threat of that ranch, not the husband.
That would be like a
He was
fascinating
creepy,
twist, because
dude.
I thought William, I liked him probably the most, because
Yeah,
it
yeah.
seemed like. But to James' point, I mean, you could tell that Zoe, like, it flowed from Zoe to him. It both seemed. It seemed like when they stepped
Competent.
foot on that ranch, it got very dangerous. Now,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought he was more just like slighting John, just for reasons with that location. But turns out it was just because of what John did. So yeah, I mean, I kind of understand him
Yeah,
being
yeah,
like a
yeah.
hater the entire episode. But yeah, probably him. Because even for as powerful as Hal seemed, that dude seemed just
Hmm.
as powerful with like no constructs. I know he had people strapped with guns like throughout the ranch, but
Yeah,
I
he
don't
had
know, the way
his
he was talking to both of them was like, I don't know if he's got like aliens in the barn or something, but he was really talking like he was the real deal. And I believed it from the actor. So him and Zoe,
Yeah.
I put him and Zoe up there.
okay.
Yeah. And what I really loved about the interaction is like when they're walking out as he's handing them their barbecue. I love that he's like, yeah, we share common interests. And I love how Hal is like not, he's still he's not playing sides there. He's not taking his side over John's side now that John's partaking in on his menu items off the grill. But that he's like, what common interest do we have? I don't know shit about you. So like I love just, yeah, the way that Will is trying to bring them over to his side, but Hal is very resistant there, even though he's like appreciative of that circumstance and like the dumbass plan that he got himself into. Besides that, is there any other points, any other feature points that we want to talk about?
Can I just ask some questions? And this might be
Sure.
a rookie question, but I just want to understand. So
Yeah.
there can only be one Green Lantern that protects the area of space that Earth is in. Is that correct? True or false?
Yep.
Yeah, 2814,
Okay,
the
so
zone.
there's
Because
only
John
one.
says there's only one on Earth, but I think it's pretty much their entire sector.
Okay, so only one Green Lantern looks over Earth. And how does Guy Gardner fit into that? Because isn't he technically a Green Lantern as well? Like,
And
I
that
don't
and that's
understand
what
that
we're
part of it.
saying. is that between 2016 and 2026, John gets scrapped out of the depth chart, and Guy, the PE teacher, inserts himself in to take over for Hal.
But they're
And he
in
dies.
2016 when he's training him. So he
Yeah.
has the ring in 2016. So Guy
Yeah.
Gardner doesn't have it then.
No,
Right.
he doesn't.
Yeah, but in 2020, he
I
does.
think he gets it. So the showrunner said that Guy has Hal's ring. He said that in the post episode video. So I
Okay,
guess
so-
like what they're going with is that like he got the ring went to
In that
Guy,
10-year gap.
became Green Lantern. I guess is what they're saying, because they're saying it's only one ring in the entire show.
Okay, so sometime after the 2016 events that we're watching unfold, the ring will eventually go to Guy Gardner.
Yeah.
And then and then
Okay.
at sometime after Superman airs, what we're assuming is going to happen is that John's going to earn his right to the ring and take it from Guy. Because as fun as Guy is, we need to get it off C-tier characters, up to 70 overalls of Madden,
Yep.
and we need to get into somebody with a 90-99 overall that we know
fucking
John can
bold
be.
shit.
That's the truth. I mean,
Fuck, I'm
Fillion
a
has
bullshit.
amazing screen presence, but Stewart,
Yes,
there's still a different type of legacy with John Stewart and Hal. Yeah.
as
Yep.
a jokester.
Absolutely.
Do you think John Stewart already had the ring in 2026 when he showed up there in the stadium, or no?
I don't think he had the ring at
No.
all.
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, something
My
happened.
opinion.
Something
He's
happened.
checking
like,
for it.
Because Dom, another thing like with the lore is, and someone pointed this out that like has watched more episodes than we have, that our planet was not supposed to have a lantern, but for some weird reason, like our planet ended up getting a lantern, and then that's like what kind of Hal is like starting to ask questions about. That probably plays into why he didn't upload his consciousness in the last like decade or so. I don't think Hal really trusts the Guardians, is I guess what I'm getting at. So there's a lot of moving parts, and then the Guardians even coming in, like you said, to orchestrate Stewart being a lantern, like to replace him. Some weird shit's going on with people with his bosses. He's the type of person that questions.
Dude, for you anime heads there, these fucking Guardians are probably going to be like the Sybil system from Psycho Pass. Like where you had that system where it was like Minority Report, where they would already see like when you have like a 99% that you're going to commit this crime you're about to do. So like, we can kill you. I guarantee.
I see that too.
Yeah.
That's
Can you judge somebody before they actually create the crime?
Yeah, exactly.
Before they actually commit the crime.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And can you look at somebody and see their mental state without any behavior and be like, you're arrested? So that's a good point.
But to Dom's earlier point, like a question that I'm still wrestling with, they still seem like the exact same level so far as like fear and all of the qualities, only that Hal has more experience. So even the Guardians just orchestrating basically their own lantern to be like what they want him to be, still put him at the same level. But I wouldn't say that Hal was like born with that type of stuff. Like I think that stuff I mean, maybe he was born with some of it, but like his dad died early, and then like I think that then he went, he was flying planes. You know what I mean, Jerome? Like as far as like the lanterns creating their own Green Lantern versus one that happened naturally, you would think that, okay, well, Hal's like better, but I think they're pretty much neck and neck outside of experience, right?
Yeah, I mean, like he's a child there, and I feel like that stuff, like as long as Hal has been doing that job, John has lived with the same fearlessness that has, through child abuse that his father instilled in him.
But did his father instill that in him because of the Guardians?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's manufactured, like whereas Hal Jordan went
that's
to be a pilot just like his dad, without any outside influence. He's like, my dad was killed being a pilot. I'm gonna go be a pilot too.
Yeah.
Well, that's what he said. He said when you lose, both your parents, you no longer have no fear.
Mm-hmm.
And an event.
Good point, Dom. Yeah, good catch. Absolutely right.
Yeah. Anything else, guys?
Can't wait for next
I have
week.
a theory.
Yeah,
A wild theory.
Give it to us, Grinch.
Wild theory, all brought to you by Dom. So, since we're talking about Guy Gardner and all of this stuff, Guy Gardner kills Hal Jordan because he's tired of being QB2, and that's how he gets the ring.
No discriminating.
Sports
You
reference.
kill somebody.
Interesting.
Kill somebody, you still get the
I
ring.
like it. I like it, Grinch.
Yeah, if the Guardians deem it like, hey, this will work,
A little police brutality.
I get, yeah. Hey,
I mean, Grinch, maybe to build off that theory, maybe the Manhunter took the appearance of Guy. Maybe that's what caught him off guard. Maybe something like that. I mean, there's a lot of shapeshifters in there. So it's somebody put a bullet in his head sitting in front of him. So
yeah.
You don't think it was a sniper?
I know I thought about that. That's a good question.
That's what came to my mind, the way that it was like where it was at, but then also did he sacrifice himself to be killed, knowing that the clues would be there if he died for Jon Stewart to pick up?
Yeah, I mean, Hal acts like he's reckless, like you said, reckless with I forgot how you articulated it. Yeah, reckless with intent. So I mean, he's the type of guy that has that stuff schemed out, even though he acts like he does it. So you'd have to imagine, like, I mean, to get offed, like, I mean, Hal's a pretty important guy. Like, I mean, this is literally a Green Lantern for 25 years.
If he knew the only way that Jon would figure it out and would prove himself to be a Lantern worthy of the ring would be for him to, like, kind of take his bow out in terms of giving the clues that Jon Stewart can't see yet. You know what's similar? Speaking of True Detective,
I really like that, James.
It's like season 3 of True Detective. You have Mahershala Ali. He's got the detective with dementia, and he's got to leave like notes and clues for himself because he knows he's going to forget.
Memento shit.
So the whole thing is like him like trying to like write all these notes for his like self that like has forgotten shit to like, okay, this is how I'm going to piece together this mystery that I failed to solve 20 years ago. But anyway, that's just, I don't know. That's True Detective season 3 underrated, in my opinion. This show didn't remind me of True Detective. It reminded me of X-Files. That's what makes more sense for me for Lanterns. I don't get really True Detective stuff other than the multiple timeline hopping and two partners that don't really get with each other. But
and a crime that they may not be able to solve right away.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's multiple layers to like the different investigations that are occurring here. What's happening with Will? What's happening with the aliens? What's happening with Hal? So I actually had a better appreciation.
It's all good.
Yeah,
I'm just saying it's all good.
Yeah, I had a better appreciation for the investigation side on the second watch through, for sure.
I'll jump into it again. I think tonight. See how the night goes.
Yeah. All right, with that, guys, we appreciate your time. We've had an amazing first episode with these characters and Jon and Hal leading the way. We're going to figure out what the hell happened to Hal. How the fuck did a PE teacher get the ring? And then hopefully we can get it into the hands of our beloved Justice League Unlimited, one of the best leaders on that group, Jon Stewart. And hopefully we can figure out what the fuck is going on in this universe with Lanterns. We appreciate your time with us. Please consider liking, leaving a comment down below with any of the different threads on the investigation side that you think you have some insight on. Yes.
Give us some theories.
Well, at least Guy was chosen, though. I mean, you can cut it now, Paul, but at least Guy was actually chosen the way the system's supposed to work. I am for Stewart.
I don't know who you're talking about, Ken, but they could cut it. They may not cut it.
Yeah. All right, on to the next episode. Stewart fails to save the universe.
Oh, shit.
So
all right, guys.
Hell no. Nah.
Throw the ring up one last time. We appreciate you. Consider subscribing. We'll see you in the next one. Later. I forgot to mention just like I've appreciated how much that Lanterns has not felt like James Gunn's Lanterns.
Yeah.
You should have said that on the pod.
Yep.